guys, now we're going to talk about Day Shift. Last minute bootleg live review. We're going to go ahead and talk about it. Really quickly, though, plot synopsis. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. We have a hardworking, blue-collar dad who just wants to provide a good life for his quick-witted 8-year-old daughter. His mundane San Fernando Valley pool cleaning job is a front for the real source of income, hunting and killing motherfucking vampires. Directed by stuntman action maestro J.J. Perry. That's right. Starring Jamie Foxx, Dave Franco, a whole bunch of other people, Snoop Doggy Dogg, and our boy Scott Adkins. That's right. The one half of the Nazarian brothers. The other guy that's with him was badass as well. Do you know his name? Steve Howie.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Steve Howie.
Yeah.
All right. So wait, hold on. As tradition,
Mm-hmm.
and believe it or not, guys, we're actually going to differ with our rating.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to differ.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. It's very rare we differ. Well, not all our ratings are the same, pretty much. But this might be a big difference today. So it's going to be interesting for you guys watching right now. But as tradition on the channel, I have something that I've started here. We salute. That's right. We salute all the badass martial artists and stuntmen and women that busted their ass and put their life on the line for our entertainment. That's right. We salute. That's right. Nothing but respect here on the channel. And I want to make sure we get that out of the way before we get into the film. Now, remember when I did the trailer reaction not too long ago, you guys saw how excited I was. Remember what I said? I was just like, I need this movie. Remember? I was just like, I need this. I need this right now. So, did it entertain Samurai Guy? Did it give me what I wanted? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. Go ahead.
Okay. How do you want me to frame this? Like what do you want me to do?
Well, you mentioned that
okay.
We had a fantastic opening.
Okay.
The opening to this movie is fucking awesome.
The opening 5 minutes to this film was so promising.
Yeah.
You had this great action sequence that was filmed beautifully.
Phenomenal.
And it set the stage. It set the stage for how the rest of the action was going to be filmed, which I was very grateful for. You didn't have you had none of that mixed bag of, oh, well, why was this so competent? But then the rest was like, what happened there? None of the action filmed was uneven in tone. So everything looked great. Every time there was a hit, you felt it.
Yeah.
The choreography was great. All that was great. You even had this lore straight out of the gate. You knew what kind of vampires you were dealing with. The fight was filmed in a way that, you knew that you cut the heads off. You had the setup with the little silver wire. So you knew that you cut their heads off, they were going to die. You knew that, they couldn't see themselves in the mirror because you had this really crazy fight where, they start fighting and then they start tussling in front of the mirror. And then all of a sudden,
lot of creativity in this first fight.
You can't
great physical performance from the female.
Right. You can't see the vampire, but you can see Jamie Foxx. And it's like, everything's going great. I'm like, oh, we might have a little gem. We might have a little diamond in the rough here.
Yes.
And then the scene ends, and then Jamie Foxx leaves, and then we start getting into the world building after the slight world building we were given with that. And by world building, I mean pounds upon pounds upon pounds of expository dialogue that never stops from the characters from when they're interacting with each other. And I mean, we're talking heaps of it. Like we're talking between him and Peter Stormare's character and him and Franco's character. It never ends. And it's irritating to the point of where, okay, I feel like I'm a 3-year-old that is just being taught everything for the first time because we couldn't tell our story in a better way. So I felt like I was being insulted.
And this is the story issues and plot issues are not J.J. Perry's fault.
No,
he's just the director.
He didn't write the film.
Right.
He didn't write the film. It was two different writers. And so I was like really irritated out of the gate with that. And then we're introduced to the crux of the story, which is Jamie Foxx. He's separated from his wife. He's got this little girl, and they're not making ends meet. And so the wife wants to take the little girl and move a whole bunch of distance away to Florida to live with the mom. And Jamie Foxx is like, no, you can't do that. I want my little girl here. Her life is here. I'm here. Give me to the end of the week until I can get some money together, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, okay, that's about as generic bare bones as you can get, but I'm willing to go along with it.
Yeah.
If you give me everything else, that's tolerable, but that's not what we get. So we get precocious, irritating little child actor. Sue me, I don't care.
No, she's terrible. The child actor's terrible.
Absolutely.
And here's the thing. A lot of people, they give child actors a break because they're children, right? I understand that. It's just a child. They kind of give the child actors a break. Go watch Phone. Go watch the movie called Phone. Watch the child actor in that. Watch the little girl in that. She's going to blow your fucking mind. Watch Phone. Watch the little girl from Train to Busan. So I get the argument. Well, they're just child actors. That's why they're bad. They're just a child. No. There's some children out there that fucking kick ass and they can act. And the child in this movie was pretty bad. Pretty much throughout the entire film was pretty bad. But did that ruin the movie for me? We'll get to that. Go ahead.
So they have this established world where they sell the teeth of the vampires that they hunt, and the teeth, depending on how old the vampire is, make money. Now, if the teeth are very young, if the vampire's very young, the teeth don't pull in a lot of money. The older the vampire, the older the teeth, the more money you're going to get. Well, there's like kind of like a black market, and then there's like an official unionized like business, like place you got to go join and pay your union dues. And Jamie Foxx is kind of like barred from that place, and that's where Snoop Dogg comes in. And so he needs to get back with them because the black market isn't covering the money. Like they're just not giving him enough money. So he's like, I got to get back in with this union place. I got to get back in with them. So he goes to Snoop Dogg and he gets back in with them. But the caveat is that he has to get in with like this union worker. And that's where Franco's character comes in. And this motherfucker basically ruined the fucking movie for me nearly in one fell swoop. He's supposed to be the comic relief. He's this bumbling idiot who pisses himself when he's scared. And I'm not joking. He literally pisses himself when he's scared. Him and Jamie Foxx have absolutely no chemistry together when it comes to their back and forth. This is where the dialogue of setting up the lore and how there are different vampires here and there, which only comes into play one point, really. Does that become a major plot point? And even then, it doesn't really matter in this type of movie. Because you can just have, okay, one vampire wants to take over LA, okay, or wherever they are, okay, great. You have a bad vampire that wants to take over, great. Why do you have to have all these subsections if you're really not going to make it mean something? They only try to make it mean something once, and then it just doesn't matter anymore. Yeah. So Franco and him, obviously, they're supposed to be the buddy cop, the good, blah, blah, blah.
And I knew that was going to happen from the trailer.
Well, the problem is that Franco is not funny. His character is irritating as shit. Goes out on the field, is absolutely useless because that's the character he's supposed to be. But instead of being like, oh, well, he's useful at least in some things. No, he's useful in spouting dialogue that it's so clunky that you're like, my brain, I'm losing my, the big old chunk just fell out of my ear. I mean, it's absolutely atrocious, the dialogue that these guys have going back and forth. And so his character is annoying the entirety of the film until the third act. Am I just going with it? Just keep going.
What? Spoilers?
Yeah, just go through with it.
Fuck it. Spoilers. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Act, he gets turned into a vampire, and all of a sudden he's competent and he can fight. But that's the problem. Is like, who cares? He's irritated me the entire film. Yeah. Why should I give a shit that suddenly he's useful? I do not care. And him and Fox still have no chemistry. I still don't care that they're partners. I do not give a shit. And so, the travesty of the film is that you have this generic plot, which I could live with if the characters were good. And which they're not. And what really pisses me off is that the action was really good in this movie. And then you have the Nazarian brothers show up. And
Nazarian brothers, son.
You fucking mean to tell me you have Scott Adkins and the other guy that you mentioned play the Nazarian brothers.
Yes.
Who are
Steve Howie.
Who are the only, not only are they the MVPs of the movie, they show up and they give us some of the coolest shit in their scene.
Yeah.
For 7 minutes. and then we never see them again.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you so hard. You go away and never speak your name to me again. Not even a mention. Like, not even a nod in the finale to team up with anybody. No, nothing. Oh, well, fuck you. And so they introduced this character, like, I don't know, 35 minutes in, where Jamie Foxx is walking up the stairs and he meets this lady who's a nurse, I guess. And she's like his neighbor. And she's like, oh yeah, I do a lot of laundry, I do a lot of scrubs, I just don't like buying new scrubs. And that was like a cul-de-sac of a scene because it went absolutely nowhere. That's the only scene they share until next time. That's the only scene they share. The next time we see her, bitch is a vampire. And you find out she was turned by the main vampire, who's a ham sandwich, by the way. And you find out their literal words were, this vampire's, the lady vampire, the neighbor vampire's words were literally, oh, well, she made me get close. She's my maker. I had to get close to you because I had to know what your vulnerabilities were. Bitch, you had one scene together where you talked about your scrubs, and then he walked out of your apartment. You haven't had any dialogue since. What do you mean you had to get close to him? What the fuck are you talking about? You had to get close to him. And suddenly she's a vampire, and suddenly she's a good vampire, and suddenly they're all fighting together. Her, Jamie Foxx, and Franco are all fighting together by the end, but there's no sign of the Nazarian brothers. There's no fucking sign of the Nazarian brothers. The only people that I give a shit in this movie. No. It's all about her. And I'm like, okay, I would have forgiven her if she was actually a character and not in one single fucking solitary scene in the movie where, oh, what do you mean? Close? What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? No. Bad writing. Awful writing. Just atrocious writing. There was a good movie in here somewhere. And I know this isn't the director's fault. And it wasn't the stunt people's fault. It wasn't the editor's fault. It was the writing. It was absolutely the writing. This was garbage. This was wasted garbage.
Now, even obviously I like the movie a lot more than she did. Even I was like, why is she helping the fight at the end of the movie? Because it happened so fast. I was just kind of like, I mean, there was an explanation given, but it was so fast. It was just kind of like, I mean, come on, movie. You could do a little bit better than that. Because I was still kind of questioning. I was waiting for her to turn on him at any point, but keep going. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
No?
Go ahead.
No?
No,
it's my turn.
Yeah, you tell me why this movie is okay. It's fine.
Well, the thing is, I was prepared for the kind of movie it was because I saw the trailer.
Which I did not.
So I knew it was going to be a buddy cop movie. And I knew they were going to have Dave Franco's character was going to have awkward comedy moments in there. My tolerance level of his comedy, that's where I'm watching the movie. I'm like, okay, I know he's going to be cringe because that's his character. But let's see how long Samurai Guy can last with that. Maybe I'll be okay with that. I was so desperate for entertainment that when he turned into a vampire at the end, I was like, fine, fuck it. I was like, fine. I didn't care anymore that, oh, he knows how to fight now and he's useful now. Well, he's superpowers. He's got vampires. He's a vampire, so he gets superpowers now. I didn't mind. I just give me that because the real character of him was so annoying. I was like, fine, he could kick ass and take names now. Fine, he could be his fun vampire friend sidekick. Fine, I'll take it. My problem with the film really is it just when there was no action, it just was very generic. It kept making me want to watch John Carpenter's Vampires. And that's an extremely unrated movie. The critics hated it. It bombed. It's a theme tonight, isn't it? It did not do well. And, I would prefer, as an overall movie from beginning to end, storytelling and the tone. I prefer John Carpenter's Vampires over Day Shift. Even especially the dialogue between the priest character and James Woods' character when he's fucking with the priest and they're kind of going back and forth at each other verbally. They had more chemistry than Jamie Foxx and Dave Franco. Jamie Foxx in this film, I know you said that he didn't seem impressive in terms of performance because they didn't really give him a lot to work with, right? I kind of got that vibe a little bit as well because it kind of seemed like Jamie Foxx at some parts of the film was good. He made me chuckle. But there were other parts where I just kind of felt like Jamie Foxx was just there. Like he literally was just, I'm going to say the line. I'm going to say the line. What's my line? That's the line. I'm going to say it. I just said the line. And now I'm going to move on over here to this part of the set. I'm going to say the line again. I'm going to say this line. You know, it kind of felt like he was just there. Some parts of the film. We have a really great car chase sequence or truck chase sequence. The camera work, everything is phenomenal. But then you kept panning back to the little girl on her iPad. Whee! I can't, you know, my dad's getting shot at and everything, but I'm gonna take everything like, woo, oh my goodness. Like she's like not fazed by anything. And I was just like, okay, even for a comedy, it's like, come on, guys. Come on, what are we doing here? You know, anyway, we already talked about the child actor being terrible. The plot, it was just generic. It was stock. You know, we've seen it before. Now that I got that all out of the way, I'm going to talk about the motherfucking positives right now. The opening action sequence. Every single fight sequence, when we finally got them, was fucking phenomenal. And there wasn't a bad, to me personally, there wasn't a bad action set piece throughout this film. I did get tired of Jamie Foxx kind of getting beat up a little bit at the end by the main vampire chick over and over again. When it kind of seems like she's so powerful, she could just kill him like that. You know, they could have gave Jamie Foxx a little bit something better to do instead of just trying to fight her hand to hand. I'm like, dude, you're gonna lose. Like, stop it. But like that's nitpicking. But you can still enjoy it. You can still be entertained by it. I was screaming with a Nazarian brother sequence. You should have seen Samurai Guy over here. I was like, oh my god, holy shit. Scott Adkins got his blades coming out of his boots. We got fucking chucks. He's whipping out the chucks. I was losing my goddamn mind. I was already giving the movie an A+, like at that point. And then what did I turn to you and say after it was over? Immediately, when it was over, and I was so happy, I had the Joker smile. I was so happy because this is what brought me to the dance, right? Immediately when that scene was over, I turned to her and I say, "That's the best part of the movie, isn't it?"
You're like, "Why do I have a feeling this is as good as it's gonna get?"
Yeah, I said, "What are the feeling?"
And that
the action sequences. This is the best.
And it was partly because the fucking Nazarian brothers, whom we never fucking see again.
Yeah.
And you're right. The action scenes, all of the action scenes in the movie,
however,
are well done.
Yeah,
and like I said, like every single impact, there's a style to the way the fights were filmed, where every impact is an impact. Like every time somebody hits,
man,
it's brutal.
The way they land on their necks, the physical performances from 87-11 is fucking phenomenal.
Yes.
And I'm actually, I don't know, he may change his mind after watching this review, but I'm actually gonna talk to one of the stuntmen from Day Shift this Wednesday, if that still happens. The stunt crew and the action performers are fucking phenomenal. They deserve praise. They busted their ass for this film. That's why I'm not as hard on it as she is.
At the end of the day, it's not them.
Yes,
it's not.
But
them.
I don't want to completely bash the movie just because the story's kind of generic and not funny. You know what I mean? But like I said, we're going to differ. Yeah. We're going to differ here. Okay. Yeah. But I still liked a lot of the action that was at the end. You know, I liked the homegirl cutting people down like a ninja. Franco's character was flipping off the wall, doing all kinds of shit. I liked the action at the end. I thought the action at the end, there was a big enough body count to scratch the itch and to satisfy. Was it better than the Nazarian house action sequence? No. But there was enough action and carnage and violence to that I was still entertained. I wasn't left with blue balls by the finale is the point I'm trying to make. But was there anything else you want to talk about the movie before we give our rating? All I gotta say is J.J. Perry, watch out for his next fucking film.
I hope.
Watch out for J.J. Perry's next fucking movie, man.
I pray
it's gonna be fucking great.
I pray he gets in with better writers,
right?
Because with his ability to film action,
oh god, yeah.
And if he gets in with somebody who can actually write a script that doesn't feel like they're whacking my face with their junk, like laugh, it's funny. It's funny. Don't.
I'm Jamie Foxx. I'm just saying the joke and I'm saying my line.
You know, it's like if he could get with a writer that was actually, you know, or if he could get like a Nazarian Brothers spinoff that was, you know, just the Nazarian Brothers characters that are actually interesting and not just, you know, grading. I think the Nazarian Brothers have a legitimate story that I would rather go watch them. If I'm gonna be, and yeah, I'm Scott Adkins biased. Of course, I'm Scott Adkins biased.
Well, if they made a fucking spin-off movie of Army of the Dead characters, they can fucking do the Nazarian Brothers movie.
Like I said, there is a world.
Who gave a shit about that spin-off?
Yeah, there's a world in here. There is a better. There you go, Nathan. Thanks for super chat, man. There's a better story in here. There's a better world in here than what we were given.
Yes.
And I'm not knocking what the positives that we did get, but the negatives that we got were painful and they were bad and they brought down the good that was in the movie. And it irritates me that you have somebody that clearly can direct action, that clearly isn't marred by the fucking Snake Eyes, that isn't marred by fucking Mortal Kombat. The Mortal Kombat's out there.
Yeah.
That it isn't marred by that bullshit that we had to put up with. You know, that can actually do it and make it look good and make it look decent on a small budget.
Mm-hmm.
He can get it done.
Yeah.
And to have it tainted by the rest of the bullshit that we could have done without.
Right.
There's a better product in there.
Yeah.
That's why I'm irritated.
Okay. All right. So anything else before we rate it now? All right. So C is average on our channel. You guys know this. C is average. I'm actually going to start something new. Day Shift has given me an idea to start doing here on the channel. I'm going to do 2 ratings moving forward now. I'm going to rate the action, and then I'm going to rate the movie. I'm going to do that. Starting, Day Shift gave me this idea. Okay? You don't have to do that. Do you want to do that?
I was kind of going to.
Okay. You go first.
So the action, like the action that's there, that we get, the brutality, the way it's filmed, it gets a solid A-.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, I don't want to say it's perfection, it's flawless, but it's so solid.
Yeah.
In some of the shit that we get from mainstream theatrical run films, you see it.
Preach.
And I can't even tell you what a breath of fresh air it is that you can actually fucking see it. You back the camera up and you can actually breathe. Your eyes can actually focus on what's going on. You actually see Scott Adkins. You actually see that he has blades on his fucking shoes and he's kicking and
Chucks.
Heads are flying. You can actually see
fucking
shit.
Phenomenal.
And that might sound like that's a bare bone. It should be a basic fucking decency in movie making, but it's not.
Yeah.
It fucking isn't.
Yeah.
So from the action standpoint, I would give it an A- just because it's there.
Okay,
it's all
now
there.
The movie.
D.
Wow, she's giving it a D.
I fucking hated it. I was so mad. I was so mad.
Whoa.
You don't squander.
Shit.
You don't squander what you got in the Nazarian Brothers just to turn it over to fucking Franco.
Wow.
Franco and bad child actor and bored ass Jamie Foxx. And then you kill Peter Stormare off screen. What the fuck? Fuck off.
Hey, this is why you guys come here, man. Honesty. All right. So I'm gonna offend a lot of people, just like I offended everyone with my Prey review. Okay. And remember, I rate things on the genre they're trying to represent. Okay. And I'm going to give the action an A. I think the action's phenomenal. I think the stunt work's phenomenal. I think they worked their fucking asses off. And they deserve credit. A. I think the action's an A. The movie, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but I already knew what I was going into. All I wanted from that trailer, all I wanted was kick-ass, badass action scenes and stunts. So looking at it that way, did I get what I wanted? Did I get what I want? I did. I got what I wanted. What you call Franco wasn't really funny, kind of annoying. Story was generic, by the numbers, seen it before. But every time there was an action sequence and a stunt going on, I perked up. I sat up on the edge of my seat, and I was just enjoying the badassity that was there. So all I wanted was some good-ass, kick-ass action sequences and not really that much else. That's all I wanted going in. So I would have to say, for the most part, I wasn't going into it for a great story. Is the story in there generic and not good? Yeah, it's not really that great. But going into it, did I get what I wanted? I did. So I'm going to give the action an A, and I'm going to give the movie a B. I'm sorry. I know that offends a lot of you. You get angry. And I know a lot of you out there are like, you gave Prey a C minus and you give Day Shift a B. Different expectations, different past leading up to what I'm about to watch. Different love for the franchise. Completely different. So, sorry. I'm giving it a B. I that's all. I didn't go in for a good story. I didn't care. I'm sorry. Usually this kind of bug samurai guy kind of didn't really care this time around. So I know that disappoints a lot of you. I'm sorry. But recently, what kind of helped me make my decision? Recently, I'm sorry, Severia, I'm going to put you on blast. Recently, I got a couple of voice messages from my homie from the UK, martial artist, actor, stuntman Michael Hode. And for the first time, he's finally seen Snake Eyes. And he was fucking stunned. He sent me 8 voice messages. And I wish I could play them for you. But he sent me 8 messages of while he was completely stunned and baffled of how the fight scenes were filmed, how the actor was filmed, the cinematography. He could not believe it, to the point he didn't even finish the fucking movie. He got 50 minutes in, and then he turned it off. This is the norm. This is what we get. If it's not John Wick, this is what we get, because David Leitch disappointed me with Bullet Train. That's my perspective of going into watching Day Shift. That's what I went in to see. I went in to see, what did 8711, what are they going to bring us? We're going to get this Scott Adkins bonus. What did I want him to show up at the end of the movie? Of course, I wanted him to show up at the end of the movie. I mean, him and his brother. I did want that. I think that would have elevated the finale. It was a shame they weren't at the end. But I knew Scott Adkins was barely going to be in the film. I knew it was going to be a cameo going in. Going in with that mentality, hey, we can finally see the action. The action's fucking phenomenal. We're not seeing this shit in mainstream Hollywood that's not named John Wick or nobody. That is why Samurai celebrates the film and gives it a B. That's why I'm more positive than negative than usual. So I'm sorry. I'm sure you guys are still disappointed in me, but Samurai Guy has to be honest. So And if I don't have a podcast this Wednesday, well, then the stunt guy said, "Fuck you, I'm out," which is perfectly fine. We have to be honest here. All right. Geeky says, "I agree. It was a B movie." Yeah, a B. I got what I wanted. Didn't go in for a story. Didn't give a shit. I wanted to see good action and stunts. That's what I got. That's what I got. So for that, I give it a B. I'm not giving it an A. I'm not giving it an A minus. I'm not giving it a B plus. I'm giving it a B. So sorry. All right, guys. Anything else you'd like to say?
No.
No, that's it.
No.
All right. All right, guys. We love having fun here with you guys. You guys are awesome. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.